The call to honor it's like love. It's you have this feeling inside to stand for something in the face of it all. Like the heart has no limits. The heart is not afraid. It's your mind that wants to say, well, this might happen, but the heart just has the feeling. It's like this wild horse. So if you follow this path of honor, you're going to get taken on an adventure. You're going to get taken on a grand adventure. And if you follow the call to adventure, instead of listening to the voice of fear and everything else, you're going to have the honor of
Yes.
being the one who stood for that in the face of everything else. I think a lot of young men today, they look around, whether it's at their fathers or the other men who are trying to guide them and tell them to be responsible, and they're like,
And become like you.
right, and lose my life force and become domesticated and just walk around trying to please everyone. And I'm not saying that this is my father or that this is anyone. It's not necessarily a critique on someone who is a good, responsible father and provider, citizen, etc., etc., etc. But I'm just speaking to this. I'm honoring this yearning that this young man has to want to feel called into manhood, responsibility, with like it feels like it's an adventure, and there's also honor there, and often the call to adventure that he gets, the call to a responsibility that he gets, is lacking in adventure and it's lacking in honor.
Yes.
And so he'll eat, and it's just kind of this external force saying you should, and he'll conform, right, to have a sense of being honorable, or he'll rebel. In either case, you give up one for the other, but you end up with less of both. Like the guy who just rebels, he might get some adventure, but it's not the kind of adventure where he's like, I'm consciously choosing my path. I'm in the unknown. I'm rebelling.
What both do is in reaction to the external authority.
Yes.
And what both don't do is listening to the inner guidance.
And there's I make a distinction between honor as a feeling and being honorable. Because what is it to be honorable? Like if someone can point to some of my behavior and say that's not honorable. Well, that says more about you than about me. It says that you're not able to honor my path.
Right. But what I see and I think is interesting, is that society trains you, and short term it seems like a great solution. Short term, it seems that to choose comfort and to protect your image is a great way to live together with people. But what we don't know is long term.
Well, and I don't think most people would say that that's what they're trying to do.
Yes.
But in effect, that's how we tend to make a lot of our decisions. Yeah, go ahead.
And short term, it seems good for survival. But long term, if you feel that yearning or like something is off, it's because you've been ignoring that internal guidance system and the comfort and the protection of self-image.
The call to honor and the call to adventure.
Yeah. It really comes with suffering. That's what's interesting. Like a slow rising suffering of not answering the call, of denying your inner guidance system, of choosing comfort and choosing self-image, and it's killing you.
Yeah, because you can be as good as you want to be by other people's standards, and still you look in the mirror and you're like, you know that you've compromised,
right?
Or
you feel it,
or you can rebel and be on that path, and then look in the mirror and you also know you've compromised, and with that comes great suffering. And honor is the opposite of suffering. There was in March 2007, I did a Vision Force boot camp, and there was a woman from the Middle East who was there. She and her family had just recently come from the Middle East. And after this event, she asked me, she said, will you talk to my son? Her son was, I think, 17 at the time. And she was really like worried. He's on the wrong path. He talks about being violent. He's angry. Like I'm really worried about him. You know, I don't know if he was talking about suicide and stuff at the time. I was reluctant to do so because, you know, because I could anyway. So I tell him, okay, I'm going to the cliff this day. If he wants to come, tell him to come and meet me there. And so I went. This was on the 360 bridge. The cliff's above the 360 bridge in Austin. He came. We walked up. We went and sat on the side of the cliff. And I just sitting with him, looking out over the valley and the countryside, and just listening to the guy.
I know that bridge. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like fucking shit's fucked up. Sometimes I just want to take a gun and kill a bunch of people and whatever. And he's talking to me about his life and his life there and everything. And I'm looking out and I can see what he's talking about. And I understand why he's angry, you know? The invitation that society is making to him is one that's far beneath this yearning, you know? He doesn't want to be made to give up his soul, his aliveness, you know? And he sees so much of it as bullshit and compromise, and he doesn't want to go along with it. And it's, you know, and a lot of men would rather even take their own life than say yes to that, you know? Like, fuck this, you know? I'm either, like, I'm not going along with that. Or it can drive you to, you know, kill others. At least there's some adventure there. At least there's some, I'm standing up in some way. And so...
But both are reacting to an external authority. Both the conforming and the rebellion. So what's the alternative path?
There is none.
We're all doomed.
Yeah, so it's you have to answer the call, you know? You have to answer the call from within, which is perhaps easier said than done, you know, but that's the very thing. You know, in the way of answering the call to adventure is fear and all of the voices and training and everything saying, no, it's not safe. Don't go.
You can't do it.
You shouldn't.
No woman will accept it. I can't be in a committed relationship and have a sense of adventure. Because they won't accept it.
Or it's, you know, you walk that path and it's not the straight and narrow path of your religion. Or it's not the path that your parents have carved out for you. You know, they want you to be a lawyer, a doctor or something, but you've got a calling to be an artist or a musician or whatever it is. Right? That's the call to adventure. And honor can very much come with answering the call to adventure. And adventure can very much come with answering the call to honor. You know? Like, the call to honor is it's like love. It's you have this feeling inside to stand for something. In the face of it all. Like, the heart has no limits. The heart is not afraid. It's your mind that wants to say, well, this might happen, but the heart just has the feeling. It's like this wild horse. You know, so if you follow this path of honor, you're going to get taken on an adventure. You're going to get taken on a grand adventure. And if you follow the call to adventure, instead of listening to the voice of fear and everything else, you're going to have the honor of yes. being the one who stood for that in the face of everything else. So very much they go together.
What I think is key in here is really start listening to that inner guidance that's there. It's there. You're born with it. The things you resonate with, the things that make you feel alive, make you come alive. The things that have value and meaning, and you know it when you're doing something that's aligned with it. You know that it's right. And so I think the big challenge is to start listening to that voice, because the training has been to not listen to that.
Yes.
And I was talking with a guy yesterday, and I could pinpoint the instances where he's listening to that voice, and even the way he talks about it, you can hear him light up.
Yes.
You know? And I said, that's it.
Yes.
That's what you need to listen
that aliveness,
to. That aliveness.
aliveness.
And I need
yes.
more of that, because there's trust. He talked about, I said, did you think the girl likes you at that point? And just the way he says, yes, she liked me. You know, it's the inner guidance of that moment too that said, she likes me. I can feel it, you know. And it's that voice that's always there, that knows your body has knowledge, that's so hard to listen to, but you know it. You know, it's that same voice that is telling you right now, something is off. Something is not quite right. I can't put my finger on it, but something is off in the way I'm living. And it's that voice. It's that voice you listen to, and it will never lead you astray. It will lead you to adventure. It will lead you to honor. And it's just cultivating the way you listen to that voice and honor it, celebrate it, you know, and make it sing louder.